Welcome to Does It Matter by Brainy Ballers, where we dissect the game with cutting-edge analytics to give you the upper hand. We analyze everything from hand sizes to average depth of targets to uncover hidden trends that no one else sees. Say goodbye to guesswork and hello to data-driven domination. Because here at Brainy Ballers, we don't just watch the game, we understand it. So get ready, it's podcast time.
Welcome back to another deep dive. Today, we're tackling a big one. It's a question I know a lot of us think about. When you're evaluating NFL talent, especially tight ends, how much does that college performance really predict pro success?
Exactly.
We got some really interesting data here, and honestly, I'm excited to dig in and see what shakes out.
And that's our mission today, right? To pull out actionable insights from this research. We're diving into a specific Does It Matter series. It analyzed college football data way back, starting from 2003, with a real focus on tight ends.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to try and cut through some of the noise and get you those aha moments.
Right. Okay, so let's unpack the method a bit. They looked at the top 50 PPR fantasy football finishers, season by season since '03. And the core idea was basically compare the college stats of the very best, the top 10 guys, against the players kind of near the bottom of that group, like 41st to 50th place.
Right, not the very bottom, but lower down. Exactly. And they zeroed in on the player's single best college season in terms of all-purpose yards. So that's like rushing, receiving, returns, everything.
All combined, yeah. It gives a good picture of their overall impact.
And doing that top 50 comparison was about finding that sort of happy medium, right? Comparing the best to the less productive without getting totally skewed by players who barely saw the field.
Precisely. And what's really fascinating, like right off the bat from the averages chart, it's pretty stark.
Oh, yeah.
In 18 out of the 21 seasons, they looked at that 85.7% of the time, the top 10 NFL tight ends had better top college yardage seasons than the guys in that 31st to 50th range.
Wow, 18 out of 21.
Yeah, it's not subtle. It strongly suggests, the tight ends who put up bigger numbers in college generally did better in the pros. Simple as that, really.
Okay, that's a really strong starting point.
Right.
But I mean, 85% is great, but how do you go from that broad trend to something actionable, like a specific number a scout or analyst can actually use?
Good question. That was the next logical step. They use something called the differences chart. Essentially, trying to pinpoint exactly where the performance boost was most significant. They tested various yardage numbers.
Right.
And the verification process, it really highlighted one key point. Setting a threshold at 626 all-purpose yards yielded a 30.2% greater chance of landing in the top 10 compared to those lower-ranked guys. That's a big jump.
30%, yeah, that's substantial.
It really is. So 626 is kind of the floor for that significant bump. The analysis suggests 650 yards in one college season.
650, okay. That 30.2% jump at 626, though, that feels important. But how statistically solid is this? Did they run correlations, something like a Pearson value?
They absolutely did. And this is interesting. The Pearson correlation value came out to...
Do you want to start dominating your drafts? At brainyballers.com, we've researched every metric under the sun for you to find which ones are best linked to fantasy points. You can access hundreds of metrics to sharpen your scouting abilities so you know which metrics matter and which are just noise. Stop guessing on which thresholds to look for within each metric. Big numbers can be misleading or irrelevant. Our Ultimate Athlete Blueprints reveal essential scouting metrics, their importance, and benchmarks within each metric that help predict a player's probability of being a success or bust. Elevate your scouting ability with Brainy Ballers Ultimate Athlete Blueprints today. Click the link in the description. Now back to the show.
0.218.
Okay, 0.218. What does that mean for us practically?
It signals a clear, positive relationship. As a tight end's best college yardage season goes up, their tendency for future fantasy production also goes up. It's a measurable link. And to give you some context, think about QB draft capital. Everyone agrees that matters, right?
Oh, absolutely. Huge factor.
Well, the Pearson value, often cited for QB draft capital impacting success, is actually very similar, around negative 0.219. The negative just indicates an inverse relationship there, higher draft pick, lower number, but the strength is comparable.
Wow. So this 0.218 for tight end yards is actually quite significant then.
It really is. It puts it on par with factors we already widely accept as predictive. It's not just noise.
Yeah, that comparison really drives it home. But one last thing. Football evolves, right? The game changes. Is this link between college yards and pro success holding steady? Or is it maybe changing over time.
That's a critical point. They looked into that too, using a decadal differences chart. And it's interesting, the prevalence of hitting that optimal 650-plus yard range, it is actually declining a bit over the last 10 years or so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe teams are valuing different things more now or player roles are shifting. But, and this is key, even with that decline, hitting that 650-plus mark still matters.
It still holds predictive power.
Definitely. In the most recent decade analyzed, tight ends hitting that mark still showed a 23.3% increased rate of appearing in the top 10 compared to the bottom group. So yeah, maybe slightly less common, but still very significant.
Okay, got it. So let's wrap this up. The main takeaway, the data is pretty clear here. A tight end's best college yardage season, it absolutely does matter, and quite significantly. That key finding seems to be you should really hope your favorite prospects managed at least one season with 626 all-purpose yards, ideally pushing towards that 650 mark.
Right. And, this maybe raises a broader question for you to think about.
Right.
How does understanding these specific data-backed thresholds, like this 626 or 650 number, how might that change how you evaluate players? Not just for fantasy, but potentially in real-world scouting. Or even, think bigger talent evaluation in other sports, other fields entirely.
That's a fascinating thought to end on, something for everyone to mull over.
Definitely.
Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. As always, keep digging, keep learning, and we'll catch you on the next one.